we're focusing on your irons, and you've told us that your main issue is strike related, and more specifically, you have an inconsistency of strike across the face between heel and toe. Now, it's best to think of the solution to this as being skill-based as opposed to a technical issue. And what that means is we don't need to rebuild our golf swing or even change a major aspect of it. We simply need to work on one of our skills. And the skill is controlling how far away from you the club is when it arrives at impact. If we look a little bit closer at impact, we can see what we mean by this. So by taking a centered setup, if we wanted to hit the ball out the heel, we would have to get the club to move away from us from setup to impact. And if we wanted to hit the ball out the toe, we'd have to get the club to move closer to us from setup to impact. And these are happening during the backswing and the downswing. So if we have an inconsistent strike, it means we don't have very good control of this skill. Now, interestingly, working on the skill can start by doing these things intentionally, as in making the club move away from you and making the club move closer to you as you swing through. And by doing that, you recognize what the feelings are and the results that they have on the club. You can then work on improving that skill for a centered strike. So to start with, for example, I have 3 tees here, and if I set up to the middle one and want to hit the outer tee, I'm going to have to get the club further away from me. If I set up to the middle tee and want to hit the inner tee, I'll have to move the club closer to me. So this is the initial work that we're going to do to recognize and take control of these feelings. So let's give it a try. So we set up to the middle tee, and then we go for the outer tee first. And then without moving setup or changing the swing, we're going to go for the inner tee. And then, of course, we're going to get rid of the middle one. So if you can perform this, it shows you have the ability to move the club either further away or closer to you. And that means you also have the ability to find middle. When you're actually practicing, of course, ultimately we want to hit the middle of the face repeatedly. So we can again use some tees just outside of the golf ball, but now they are for feedback. So by hitting this ball, the only way I can miss both of those tees is to hit the ball out the middle of the face. On the other hand, if I do hit the tees, it's good feedback because it will tell me where I hit the ball on the club face. So if I hit the outer tee, I've hit the ball out the heel, and if I hit the inner tee, I've hit the ball out the toe. Obviously, again, if I can leave both of those tees where they are, I've hit the middle of the club face. So let's give this a try. Go for a centered strike and leave those tees.